God has definitely taken us on an adventure with having children. Just the other day, I cried out to Dustin and said, "Why is this so hard?" And his response was, because the enemy doesn't want us to bring these children into a loving, Christ-centered home. He wants to keep them in darkness. And so though God has used adoption, the unconventional way of being pregnant, to allow us to be parents as well as care for these precious children, the hard road to buying back lives is where we find ourselves again.
This is an impactful quote for me. It says, and this encapsulates everything about adoption. It says, "My friends, adoption is redemption. It's costly, exhausting, expensive, and outrageous. Buying back lives costs so much. When God set out to redeem us, it killed him." And that's the story that we find ourselves in again. The Nally trio is fixing to be a Nally quartet.
That's right, Jaden's gonna be a big brother.
Adoption has always been on our hearts. When we were first married, we knew that we were going to adopt. We just didn't know what it was going to look like, but the Lord knew. And just as crazy as Jaden's story is, this has plenty of twists on its own.
That's right. And many of you know Jaden's story has been a really long road. His adoption took a long time to finalize. But as God used him to fulfill our longing to be parents, God also used us as the vessel to bring Jaden out of the darkness of his situation and give him a hope and a future. And baby number 2 is no different.
So to help us tell this story, some of our best friends, Zach and Melody Brackett, are going to tell the story of them going and getting and adopting Dawson so that we can complete the whole story.
Right, and there's a twist that you'll find out here in just a moment.
Hey, I'm Zach, and this is my wife, Melanie, and we're best friends with Dustin and KJ. And a few months after Jaden was born, Dustin and KJ heard about another need for adoptive parents, so they called us, and we prayed about it, and 7 weeks later, we adopted our son, Dawson. And actually, the week that he was born, found out that Melody was pregnant.
Surprise!
And so 8 months after we adopted Dawson, Selah Joy came into the world.
And we just think it's such a cool testimony of God's goodness, how these 2 children came into our lives in totally different ways, and they look totally different, and their stories are totally different, but they're each just so incredibly precious to us. And what a reflection that is of how precious we are in God's eyes, no matter where we come from and no matter what our story is. And we just love how our family is such a reflection of the gospel, that everywhere we go, people see that picture of what Christ did for us.
So the twist is, we found out a week after Jaden's adoption finalized that we would be adopting Dawson's biological cousin.
So here's how you can help. First, we need your prayers. We know that this is a dire situation, and the Lord hears our prayers and answers them.
Second, you can buy one of my 3 books, and all proceeds will go to help fund our adoption, and we'll know they're encouraging people as they read. And third, you can donate directly to our donation page by going to our blog at www.hisnallyfamily.blogspot.com, and there's a link on the side.
So please join us to invest in the life of this beautiful child.